Okay guys, so I wanted to share a quick hack with you, and it's one that I use all the time, and that is to come into Photoshop and to create a blank scene in 1920 by 1080. And then what I've done in this case is I've gone and grabbed the splash screen from the challenge, made a copy of it, saved it, and I'm just dropping it into that empty scene because I want to use this as a background so that my colors and scheme are all matching my overall theme. And you may as well do that using AI, being as Capsho uses AI for the words, I can use AI for the graphics. So I'm just selecting that top half of the screen at the moment, going into the edit menu in Photoshop, and I look for generative AI in the edit menu, or it might be in a menu bar somewhere, and I just click on generate. It asks me to agree to a couple of things occasionally. I fast forwarded it so you don't have to wait for the results, but it occasionally throws some weird text and things up. But out the three that it's created, it has created one that I am happy with. So that's good to go. All I'm going to do now is export that as a PNG, and I'll use that as my background, knowing that everything matches up nicely. So if I can spell correctly, Capsho, and that's me now done in Photoshop, and I'm saving that, and I'm going to come and get it in a minute. But let's move over to Ecamm now, because I'm going to drop that into Ecamm. So in Ecamm, I need to go into live demo mode for you. So options, live demo mode. Here we go, turning on live demo mode. Nearly always mess the scrolling in bit, but let's scroll in a bit so you can see what's going on. So I've just got a blank scene here at the moment, and you can see on the left here I have got something that says Capsho PNG, which is what I just created in Photoshop by filling out the top half of that image using generative AI. So I brought that straight into Ecamm. And then what I'm going to do is bring in a couple of images which I have already pre-prepared, but these are effectively my cameras. So if I bring this one in, let's bring the Capsho down to the bottom of the frame here, and I will bring that image in. So this is my camera effectively, and I'm going to place that in the center of the screen here. And then I'm going to bring in a couple of other cameras, or in this case, blank placeholder images. And I'm going to duplicate that one, and we'll move that over here, and I'll just use the edges of the blue screen there to snap to that so that I know that everything is in place and lined up. So suddenly I have got a Capsho show with 3 images on it. And what I like to do occasionally is put a white frame around things. So I create a white frame using Keynote or any other tool that you want to do. So here's my white frame. Now what I'm noticing here is that that's clipping off just the bottom of the words Capsho challenge there. So I'm going to grab that frame, or rather grab that image, the Capsho image, and just nudge it up very slightly so that that now sits in nicely with a white frame around it. And what we really need is some name placeholders here as well. So I'm going to add in a shape, and this shape, as I had already pre-prepared some of them, is the right shape that I'm looking for. Let's make it look like it's nice and evenly spaced. And that shape itself, what I'm going to do is, if I come over to the shape here and show you, then it won't jump off the screen. It's a rectangle at the moment. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change the blend mode, because it's a white rectangle at the moment, to overlay. And that's now going to pick up on the background just a little bit. So I've got a nice little placeholder for my name there. If I then duplicate that a couple of times, I can ensure that it's lined up there, and I duplicate it again. And you can see it's picking up on whatever is in the background there. So I've got nice placeholders in there. So all I need to do now is add in some text. So Sheena is my better half. We'll add a white text in there, and it's added in my text for me. It's huge, so let's make it smaller, and we'll pop it into the box. And if you move it left and right within that box, it will come up with a little blue line, which you can hardly see, but it is a little blue line there, and I'll move it to the center. Let's pop it up one more, and again I'm going to duplicate that a couple of times, and you can see a little bit clearer here, 2 lines there, and there's a little blue line telling me that's in the middle. Duplicate it again, and it's in the middle. So I ought to change my name as well, so we'll do that. So suddenly done. So very, very easily I have taken the Capsho 21-day challenge with Ecamm branding and dropped it in, and I suddenly have a matching Ecamm scene for whatever my form is going to be. But what we could also do is take that, well, not a step further, but have an alternative use for it, which really is a hack. And that is that what I've got here is another blank scene. And on this blank scene, I've got some text in here. And the text is what Capsho produced for me, vertical videos on LinkedIn, yay or nay. So I quite like the look of that. But what I want to do is make that themed to the same as everything else. So I have another image here. I'm going to drop that in, Capsho blank, and I'm going to pop that at the bottom. And then maybe I'm going to come into my text as well. Let's give that a bit of a shadow so as it jumps out a little bit. And suddenly I have got an image that I can use for my social media post. Now this one is going to be 1920 by 1080, so you might need to adjust the sizing accordingly. But what I can do now is within Ecamm just go up to the recording options in the menu and say save photograph, and it will take a picture of this image for me, and then I can use that in my social media posts. And as I say, all you really need to do is look for the sizing of your social media posts and readjust the image, and you might need to cut and paste around it or something like that. But this has given me a nice image using the Capsho text, and I have got the background that I was looking for as well. So the way I produced that background was after I finished using my original capshot with text in it, where the lower half all had the text in, I took that image, dropped it back into Photoshop again, and instead of covering the top half of the screen, because that's already now in the nice purple colors, I selected a box for the bottom half of the screen to cover all of the original text, and then asked it to do a generative fill, and it then filled in where the text was with all of the nice colors. So that's my hack for today. And is it a content hack? I think it is a content hack, because what I am doing is using the content in a different way and blending in the images along with the text. So that's it from Edinburgh. Cheerio, bye for now.